Hey, welcome back. This is Classic Ads and Campaigns, Part 2. You might want to enjoy this by drinking a Pepsi. We're going to start off by having you watch the Blair Witch Project trailer. The URL is here and below the video and in the metadata that's below the YouTube video. You might want to pause the video and watch that. First question is, why is it so popular? I think it really taps into the idea of fear. I think anyone who's gone camping is, at times, maybe some of us, maybe not you, but your friends, were afraid of the dark. Or were lost alone in the woods or somewhere else, and it taps into that kind of fear of loss. And being lost in the darkness. Something that's also so popular, I think it really, it was able to be sold so well because of its honest and real presentation of the phenomenon and that was being dealt with. They had untrained actors that were, they did sort of a cinema verite style where they just kind of shot it and didn't keep the actors so informed about what was going on. Here, in contrast, let's watch the Hunger Games trailer. There's the URL. It's here in the video and below. You might want to pause the video again. Why is it so popular? Of its major star, Jennifer Lawrence, so famous she can be called J-Law. Also, the trailer and the movie itself are visually striking. They have high production values. Looks like a Hollywood epic for teens and young people. The next one's the classic Coca-Cola commercial, I'd like to teach the world to sing. In perfect harmony. There's the URL and below. So why do you think it's so popular? Man, that song is so catchy. It just makes you feel good. It's a nice pop song. It's sort of the song and the people in it promote this idea of racial harmony and nice feelings all around. And also as part of the zeitgeist, the spirit of the times. This was done right in the early post-1960s and the early 1970s. It was a sort of a nice, calm, cool reaction to some very tumultuous times in the 1960s. Here is the infamous Kylie Jenner, or Kendall Jenner. I always forget the two. I think it's Kendall Jenner for this one and the Pepsi commercial ad. You might want to watch that, and then watch the Pepsi commercial by SNL. Two URLs here and below. You can also just Google Jenner Pepsi commercial or Pepsi commercial SNL to get the URL. Why so popular or infamous? It has a big star. Jenner is a huge social media influencer, and it's part of the zeitgeist. I think it really very directly taps into the idea of Black Lives Matter and the protests that it involved. Next one, Heineken's Worlds Apart ad. Again, you can Google Heineken Worlds Apart, or you can get this URL or get it down below. Why is it so popular? Again, it's kind of, because of the subject matter, it kind of goes into some of the divisions in society as highlighted recently about Black Lives Matter and Me Too. There's some LGBTQI issues that are also addressed in the video, and again it sort of highlights the idea of contrasting ideas between people and how they're different these days, and how do we come together in a diverse society. Why is it also so popular? It's a pretty atypical ad, yet it's kind of familiar. It deals with protest, it deals with the idea of people being together at a bar and ironing out their differences over a drink. So it kind of combines a couple of things. Quite big these recent last couple months are the Peloton commercials. There's really one Peloton commercial. It's called The Gift That Gives Back by Peloton Bike. And then there's also a second one if you want to Google The Gift That Doesn't Give Back, that commercial. The URLs are here, URLs are down below. Why are they so popular or unpopular? Unpopular the first one, the second one more popular. Again, it gets into the spirit of the zeitgeist. There's this home fitness craze. People are into that these days. Still maybe might be a little bit too expensive to go to the gym, so let's just take care of our bodies at home. And I think the pushback against the original ad is a retort to perfection. It's like these days, you have to be perfect. And then this woman who seems pretty fit and all put together, it's a retort to the idea of, being even, that's not enough, you got to be even more perfect. Then the second ad, the Aviator Gin ad, it sort of subverts the original. It's pretty comedic. This is another relatively recent one. It's Burger King commercial. If you Google Burger King commercial or take this URL or get the URL below, why is it so popular, unpopular, famous, or infamous? It's kind of up in the air right now. It's pretty visually striking. Like, you have a burger changing state from being in a pristine condition to, as I say in the ad, moldy. And it's atypical yet familiar. We've seen so many food commercials over the course of our lives where it glamorizes. It almost looks like a car, the way it kind of goes, and it looks around the product being the burger, or cars and car examples. It's familiar content, but it's shown in a typical way. But by the decay it shows in the burger, it shows it in an atypical way. Going to get some famous, infamous campaign characteristics, kind of get some of them together. A lot of them deal with major stars like Jennifer Lawrence, Colin Kaepernick. They foster an emotional connection, oftentimes fear, such as in the Daisy, Blair Witch, Willie Horton ads even. They're often very visually striking, like the contrast between the little girl and the mushroom cloud in Daisy, the decay of the burger in the Burger King commercial, and the Hollywood epic production values in Hunger Games. Often they comment these ads to the zeitgeist, whether it's Black Lives Matter, Me Too, Willie Horton in an era of seemingly increased in crime, or the retort to perfection in the Peloton #2 ad. They have atypical yet familiar subjects and deal with them both in familiar and unfamiliar ways. Heineken has an interesting take on the meet up someone at a bar and iron over your differences. The Jenner one deals with a common occurrence these days, mass protests, and tries to, unsuccessfully for the most part, ride on the coattails of that movement. They can have indirect messages like Apple, which was a sort of a cut against the corporate behemoth at the time, IBM, and it's funny that Apple, of course, has become one of the world's biggest corporations. They are many, if not most of them, if not all of them, are iconic. They wouldn't be chosen if not so. Like the Apple ad, where it has a very unique look, where a couple frames into it, you know what it is. And they're pretty innovative, like the Burger King ad, where it shows the decay of the burger. That's it. Classic ads and campaigns. Again, if you want to watch the videos, the URLs, you could Google the keywords in the videos, or look below the video itself and see some of the URLs. Thanks again for watching.